Hey everybody, just going to do a video today on the 2020 KLX300R. Just giving it a little oil change. Seen a couple videos on this before, but thought I'd throw one on there and see if helps anybody out. A few little things to figure out and little tricks. So here we go, let's dig in. So if it's your first time doing an oil change on a bike, hopefully this helps you out, but always want to make sure you start the bike up and let it run for a bit, get that oil warmed up, and then it's flowing nicely and you'll get all that particulates or anything like that in the oil that'll come out once you start draining it. So get that going now. And you always want to check your washer, make sure that it's still looking good. The bolt's good as well. Okay, once you got the oil drained, you want to obviously put your bolt back in the oil pan there. Make sure you're following all the details there for the tightening torque. So in your manual it'll tell you, I think it's 11 foot-pounds for the torque of your pan nut. Grab our trusty torque wrench here. Now that that's done, just throw this in there. Any dirt from coming out. So this is kind of the tricky part, is your oil filter. Just in the side here. This is my first bike with a filter for the oil. First 4-stroke really, so I've been liking the bike so far. Got a little spillage there. And that's what you're getting, is a bit of a filter there. So just want to give that a good clean and get rid of the old filter here. I want to give that inside cavity a good clean too, but you'll see there's a little spring. This is the most annoying part when you're trying to put it all back together, is this little spring doesn't like to cooperate with the filter. Okay. Get that all nice and clean. Pull out your new filter. That's the part there in case you need to know. Kawasaki filter. You also want to check this O-ring as well. The manual tells you to replace it every time. I've been pretty good with that, but I think as long as the O-ring looks intact and you don't see any tears or anything like that, disformed sections, you should be okay. So there's your new filter, looking nice and clean. tip though is always lube up this O-ring before you put it in. So I guess they say lube up before you insert. I know, bad joke. But hey, you gotta have fun.
What's the matter with you?
Always lube that up though, because you'll fit that to this part here. Like any kind of rubber, you always want to grease it up so that it comes off easy the next time. But the trick that I learned, I can't take credit for it, is that this little spring literally needs to stick on the back of here, like so, to keep pressure on that filter to keep it on there. But then it goes into the back of the bike. See if I can get it here. It goes right into the center of those 4 posts. And good old Kawasaki didn't give you anything to keep that on there. So, a little trick that I saw online was somebody just took some heavy duty grease or grease. Just got some random grease there. Take a little dab on the back of the spring and then you can literally just stick it on there and it stays on. That way you can insert it back in there and it doesn't fall off on you. And then you can just reinsert that and throw her back on. Obviously making sure your holes lined up for your cap. And you'll tell if the spring's in there right because you get a little pushback resistance there. But that's really the trick I wanted to show you, is pass that along, is that spring and the grease trick works great. Just looking up there, I think the torque tightness there on the cover bolts is 89 inch-pounds, so really just a nice snug hand tight and you should be good. And like always, just make sure you check for any kind of drips after you're riding. Again, another little trick too, these measuring tubes or beakers, you want to call them. It's perfect for getting the exact amount of oil that you need for your engine. And again, can't take credit for that one, but it's good for a quick fill. Check our levels as well. When you check your level, you just want to make sure your bike is up straight and you got your little viewing window on the bottom of the bike. Beauty. Check it after we run it for a bit. After you put your new oil in there, give it a run. And then check that level of glass again there. Make sure your bike is where it should be in between the lines. Alright, let's fire it up. Oil change on the 2020 KLX300R.